I'm Peter Stemmet. This is Al Jazeera live from Doha. Also coming up, the US Attorney General rejects allegations he misled the public to protect President Trump in testimony before the Senate. Violence on the streets of Paris as tens of thousands of protesters rally to mark May Day. As Libyan warlord Khalifa Haftar advances on the capital Tripoli, his forces have detained 2 Turkish nationals. The US Secretary of State says the United States is prepared to take military action in Venezuela if needed. Mike Pompeo warns Washington could intervene to stem the political crisis, but Pompeo said the US would prefer a peaceful transition of power, with President Nicolas Maduro leaving before elections are held. Pompeo is expected to hold talks with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to discuss the situation in Venezuela. Let's bring in now Amanda Price at the United Nations in New York. Amanda, what's the United Nations' latest response to the Venezuelan crisis?
We've heard from members of the Security Council that they're following the situation closely and with a lot of concern, but
US Attorney General William Barr has defended his actions over the handling of the Russia report submitted by Special Counsel Robert Mueller. He made the comments while testifying before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Barr released a controversial short summary of the report.
If you look in the modern day environment, post-Soviet Russia, the communists take part in the democracy. They find themselves in parliament, as do you guys. Could you tell us more about your particular 21st century brand of communism?
When you have developed democracy to its fullest, what you achieve is the phase of socialism, which is a transitional phase towards the ultimate goal of communism.
Well, thank you. Political Philosophy 101. Thank you so much, Alice. Appreciate that.
You could say that the Democrats are the Liberal Party and the Republicans are the Conservative Party. Generally speaking, around the world, minority groups tend to be more conservative than they would in their home countries or their original places of wherever it is that they come from, sometimes even deeply conservative. Why is it then that the Republicans are unable to resonate with African Americans particularly, and also to a large extent Hispanics?
I think that right now we're looking at this in a snapshot.
Can we then, in light of what we've just discussed, make comparisons to 2 Obama terms followed by Hillary in terms of inspiration and excitement, and compare that to 2 Reagan terms and a George Bush that followed that?
Boy, that's a fantastic question.
The agency is doing very well, but the IEC will, of course, verify and at the later stage announce the result.
I can't sit here and not ask you to tell us something that we don't know.
You're confident.
The United States is tightening its squeeze on Iran by introducing sanctions on any country which buys Iranian oil. The new restrictions, starting on Friday, follows the ending of sanctions waivers for 8 major customers, including China and India. The latest attack against Iranian exports are part of the US campaign in cooperation with Iran's regional rival, Saudi Arabia. Mike Hanna has the story from Washington.
It was a surprise to many when President Trump chose Riyadh as a destination of his first international trip in office.
More news coming up again in half an hour's time. Stay tuned for Al Jazeera Inside Story. My name is Peter Stemmet. I'll see you again in half an hour.